What if I told you that 8 central banks secretly tried to control the price of gold and nearly destroyed the global financial system in the process? Welcome to Timeless Finance. Today, I'm inviting you to explore the hidden story of the London Gold Pool, a covert operation that shaped the modern economy. But first, I have a quick question for you. Comment down below and tell me what country you are in and what time is it for you right now. I am really interested in seeing just how global our community is. Now, let us get into it. In the early 1960s, deep beneath the financial heart of London, a secret alliance was formed. It was called the London Gold Pool. Its mission was simple yet audacious: keep the price of gold from rising. Because if gold went up, the dollar would go down. And if the dollar fell, the entire post-war economic system could collapse. This was a monetary Cold War. The gold market, believed to be the freest expression of value, was quietly being managed by central bankers behind closed doors. To understand why, we need to rewind to World War II. The global financial system was in ruins. In 1944, delegates from 44 countries gathered in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, to create a new world order for money. The result was the Bretton Woods Agreement, pegging global currencies to the US dollar and the dollar to gold at $35 per ounce. Every dollar was theoretically backed by gold in US vaults. America had more than 20,000 tons of gold, nearly 3/4 of the world's supply. The dollar became as good as gold. But this design had a fatal flaw. For the system to work, America had to supply dollars to the world for trade. Yet every dollar that flowed out made foreign governments entitled to more US gold. The more dollars circulated, the more gold claims existed against a finite supply. By the late 1950s, cracks appeared. US spending abroad through the Marshall Plan, military bases, and Cold War projects flooded the world with dollars. European central banks began redeeming dollars for gold, draining American reserves. In 1958 alone, U.S. gold reserves fell by more than 10%. Publicly admitting this problem was impossible. The dollar's strength was not just economic, it was national prestige. So in 1961, 8 Western central banks, led by the U.S. Federal Reserve and Bank of England, secretly joined forces. Their mission was to prevent the free market from exposing dollar weakness through coordinated gold market intervention. The London gold market was the center of global gold trading. If prices rose above $35, it would signal lost confidence in the dollar. The London Gold Pool job was to stop that at any cost. The U.S. Federal Reserve contributed half the gold for intervention. The United Kingdom, West Germany, France, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, and Switzerland provided the rest. Whenever gold threatened to rise above $35, these banks sold gold into the market, pushing prices down. It worked at first. For years, the pool kept prices stable. To the public, the system functioned perfectly. But behind the curtain, pressure built. Global demand for dollars kept increasing. U.S. deficits ballooned from the Vietnam War, domestic programs, and corporate investments. The U.S. printed more dollars, but gold reserves shrank. By 1965, the numbers were alarming. There were nearly 3 times more dollars held by foreigners than gold in U.S. reserves. The system was a confidence game. The pool was like firefighters dumping water on a volcano, delaying, not preventing, eruption. Then came the French. Under President Charles de Gaulle, France criticized the U.S. for exploiting its exorbitant privilege, the ability to print the world reserve currency. De Gaulle argued America lived beyond its means, paying for imports and wars with paper instead of real value. In 1965, France started converting dollar reserves into gold and shipping bullion from New York to Paris. This was a direct challenge. Other countries followed. The pool faced a nightmare. Every ounce sold to defend the $35 price worsened the problem. Between 1965 and 1967, the U.S. lost over $3 billion in gold. London vaults emptied as panic spread. Then in November 1967, disaster struck. The British pound was devalued by 14%, sending shockwaves through markets. Speculators rushed to convert pounds and dollars into gold. The pool was overwhelmed. In 2 weeks, nearly 400 tons of gold were sold. It was not enough. The illusion collapsed. By March 1968, the gold rush peaked. Demand was so high the market ran out of metal. On March 14th, pool members held an emergency meeting. They realized the game was over. That night, they shut down the London gold market entirely for 2 weeks. It was the first time the world's most important financial market simply ceased to function. When it reopened, everything changed. A 2-tier system emerged. One price for official central bank transactions, still fixed at $35, and another for private trading determined by the open market. The world now had 2 prices for gold, one fake and one real. The free market had rebelled against decades of manipulation. The fundamental problem remained: too many dollars, not enough gold. By 1970, the U.S. owed the world over $50 billion in claims, but had less than $10 billion in gold. The arithmetic was impossible. Everyone saw it. By 1971, President Richard Nixon faced an impossible situation. The U.S. ran massive trade deficits. Foreign governments demanded gold. The Federal Reserve could not keep printing dollars without destroying confidence. The entire post-war order was collapsing. On August 15, 1971, Nixon made one of the most consequential announcements in financial history. He declared the United States would suspend dollar convertibility into gold. America closed the gold window. The dollar would no longer be tied to metal. This was the death of Bretton Woods. From that day, money became purely fiat, backed not by metal but by government decree. The world operated on trust alone. After 1971, gold was free to trade. Its price skyrocketed, rising from $35 to over $100 by 1973, then over $800 by 1980. Central banks, once masters of the gold game, became reluctant players in a system they could no longer control. Yet the legacy of the London gold pool did not die. The idea that governments and central banks could manage markets quietly and collectively lived on. These institutions began intervening in new ways, setting interest rates, buying bonds, manipulating liquidity. The tools changed, but the mindset did not. The London gold pool was the prototype for modern monetary intervention. It proved coordinated. Central banking could hold back market forces for years, but also that when the dam breaks, consequences ripple through history. If the pool had succeeded, the modern financial world would look different. But its failure ushered in an era where money could be created from thin air, debts could grow without limit, and prices could drift upward without a hard anchor. The story of the London gold pool is not just about the past. It is a mirror for today, a warning about what happens when confidence replaces substance, and when power believes it can suspend economic laws. By the time the pool collapsed, billions in gold had been sold, but the true cost was far higher. Trust in the global financial system had been broken, and though replaced by the fiat age, the cracks never fully healed. The system survives not because it is stable, but because people still believe in it, just like they once believed the dollar was as good as gold. Now I would love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment below. Do you agree with this? What is your take on the London gold pool and its legacy? Your perspective really matters to us and helps shape the future of this channel.